cannot deny it. Nation smiles from creation. Happy science nation to nation. Free mind and soul, we all deserve it. Indeed, we cannot deny it because we are. Love is what makes me happy. Wisdom is the way to ultimate freedom. To forgive one another, brothers and sisters. Open your eyes and let's all be happy. Well, the readings emphasize love is free. Got no price. The truth will open up your eyes. Always be happy with a smile. Now you see the light. So follow the light, light, light. Happy science. That's what we are. He will guide you on the road. He's uniting and overcoming to all the people of the world. El cantare, el cantare. That's who we are.
A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for listening in to UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. And Kajumba is my name with yet another edition of the Child Time program, a program that features every Sunday afternoon. Welcome aboard and thank you so much for keeping it UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. In today's edition, I have my guests, 3 guests. They will be introducing themselves shortly after this musical break.
Africa. were queen or king of Africa, would you heal the pain of Mama land? Would you fight for peace and unity? Would you free the soul of Africa? If I was the king of Africa, I would feed the kids of Africa. I would teach about the motherland and make them proud to be African.
Welcome back from that break. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. That earlier told you, this is Anne Kajumba, and I have my wonderful guests in studio. I'll begin with the gentleman. Yes, can you please introduce yourself?
Listeners, I'm Triatunga Bob. I'm from Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization.
Okay.
An organization that works with young people, both disorganized and organized ones.
Okay.
In making them have a future life for their self-reliance.
Okay. Why do you call them disorganized anyway?
I call them disorganized youth and organized youth because we have different people, especially the youth as you know them. We have youth who think that they can do something. We categorize them in organized groups.
Okay.
And we have youth who think that they are nothing in the world. They don't think of planning for themselves anything. They take a lot of alcohol. They take marijuana. They are doing anything to make them sure that there are no people on the world.
Okay.
So they are the two groups of people that we bring together, and we have them as all organized groups.
Okay, thank you so much. And
hello, listeners. I am Fausta from Lithuania, from North Europe. And now I'm here volunteer in Uysto. And in my country, I am working with children in kindergarten. I also was volunteering in one organization for young people from 14 to 19 to give the skills of career guidance, that they become brave, self-confident, that they choose the right path of their future. So that's why I chose this project. That's why I'm in Uganda.
thank you so much, Fausta. And
I'm Donata. I'm also from Lithuania, and I came to Uysto together with Fausta. And what I do in my life, I can see that I usually choose to volunteer in different programs where we have to work with kids and with vulnerable youngsters.
okay, thank you so much. You're very welcome. And to our listener, yes, we have Fausta, we have Bob, we have Donata, and We are here to discuss a number of things. And yes, this is the Child Time program. As you heard from Fausta, she said she deals with children. And yes, there are many parents out there. You have your children. Some of you don't know what your children will become in the near future. Some of you do not know the characters of your children. Some of you don't know where the world is taking them. And like Bob said, that some of you have disorganized children. They drink alcohol. They don't know what the world holds for them. But then I'll get back to Fausta. How do you deal with children?
It's important that the information come through practical things, that workshops, that it's interactive, and then you give information through these things. They take like a true, that it's true. Oh, okay, it's interesting. So you have to communicate with them if you are they are friend, and then it's okay. They confident you, and you can give them the information, the skills, maybe some new knowledge about what they have to do, how they have to begin to go to their aim, to go to reach their dreams.
Okay, but Fausta, with children, they grow one step at a time.
Yeah.
And like you said, you need to be their friend, so that you need to learn them, and you teach them the skills on how to go about it. As time goes on, children keep growing. Of course, we have the stubborn ones, we have the ones who are willing to learn, we have the ones who are slow. You try to teach them those skills, but they are very slow. Then there are those ones that are very quick to adapt. So how do you manage to make sure that they're at least on a similar level? Because you have all the stubborn ones, you have the slow ones, all in one class. How do you manage as a teacher, as their mentor, as a person who handles these children? How do you manage to make sure they're on a similar level?
You can't to make it in the similar level.
Okay.
And I think it's not necessary, because everyone have everyone's path, and everyone have this their own aim. And they can do. One can sing. One can dance. Yes. One can be an IT specialist, and another can be. But yes, you have to. The really important thing is characteristics, and how. In this organization in Uysto, we want that students to identify their characteristics, their priorities, their values, and then they can make their career plan. And that is the first steps. It's like this: to know who I am, what I want really, not community wants, not my father wants, but what I want and what I want to be. And
okay, thank you so much, Fausta. And Donata, how do you deal with children? I believe you've had and you have children friends. How do you manage to deal with them with their day-to-day life?
So maybe I can say a bit about my experience in Jordan, because I was volunteering there with the Palestinian refugees. And my work was mostly with the kids, and these kids they had a really, their background was very hard. Their childhood is very hard, and for me, I noticed that there is big difference between Lithuanian kids and maybe Palestinian kids, because some of them, because of these really poor conditions, they became a bit aggressive. They need more attention. They always ask you something. They want you to do something. They don't listen to you because they really need attention. So, of course, in this way you have to be really patient. You have to listen to the kids, but at the same time you shouldn't let them to be on top. You have to be the one that says what to do and Yeah.
You manage them because you don't leave them to go overboard. Okay, when
Yeah,
it comes
they have to be free. They
Okay.
can act freely, but it shouldn't be that they became bosses. You have to manage the situation.
Okay. Like I was talking to Faust, I told her about, okay, we have the aggressive children. Then you have the slow learners. You have those ones who are willing to listen. You have those ones who didn't want to listen to you because they're very aggressive. They are tired. They feel enough is enough. Now, how do you get to tame them? Because one, you don't beat. You have to listen to each and every one. But of course, tell them what to do. Do they do what you tell them to do?
How do I manage to do this?
Mm-hmm.
With the ones that are very active, you also kind of have to become active. You can play, do the games, and in this way, you told them what to do. You cannot just say them, okay, you have to write or you have to paint. You have to interact with them, and play a game with them,
Okay.
so they can understand and.
Okay, thank you so much, Fausta and Donata. Back to you, Bob. Have you been able to handle our very own in Uganda, the ones you call disorganized and organized? Have you been able to handle some of these children for them to see that they have a future and whatever they are going through is not the end of the world?
Maybe what I can say, when you were interacting with Fausta, you talked of slow learners. Yes, it's true, because people are different. In the areas where we are implementing these projects, and the people, as I have already told you, working with, they are different. But of course, you have to know that if this one is a slow learner, of course, we want to move at the same pace with the other faster learner, as Fausta told you that it can't be possible all of them to be at the same level of learning. There are some time, extra time that is being catered for such as slow learners. Of course, after learning them, you also have to know how am I dealing with these people. You have to attach to them the youth workers, and those youth workers must be studied by maybe the top person to know that this youth worker can really handle this uneasy issue. For example, we had a girl who had come for sweaters, and unfortunately could not make it within a period of 6 months, and yet we saw that by the end of the year that person could have at least be able to produce a scarf, a skirt, but was not. We had to attach someone to that particular person to make sure that something comes out of that person. We found out that however much the youth worker was attached to that person, the person could not come up with a product. So we sat in a meeting and we resolved, is there we can try, though this person came looking for the knitting, is there we can devise means of letting someone have a skill. We said we can take the person to tailoring, and within 2-3 months the person was able to make a skirt. So that was a way of allocating someone, understanding someone as a youth worker, to know what challenges that these people meet. Actually, through that, youth are put at the right place, and we get something out of them, and we achieve their goal.
Thank you so much, Bob. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda, and Kajumba is my name. Let's go for a short music break. When I return, we have lots to share with you. I want you to listen to this beautiful song. It's called Teacher, and the reason why I would prefer that song is because Donata, Faust, and Bob, they are teachers. Yes, they teach our children. Yes, they teach the youth, because a teacher does not involve the blackboard only, but they are teachers. We will be back shortly after this music break.
Children?
Yes, please, teacher.
What do you want us to do today? Can you give me suggestions?
Me. Let's learn science.
Yes.
Let's learn SST.
X what?
SST.
SST.
Let's do math.
Let's do mathematics. And you?
Let's talk about the teacher. Yay!
Let's talk about the teacher. Let's talk about the teacher. Let's talk about the teacher. For a teacher is many things.
any given time. Our teacher is many things, giving all the love, guidance here and there. Our teacher is everywhere. Our teacher is many things.
The Bible tells it all. When Jesus said to men, let all the children come to me, for the kingdom belongs to them.
Our teacher everywhere, our teacher all the time, at any given time. Our teacher is many things, giving all the love, guidance here and there. Our teacher is everywhere, our teacher is many things.
Jesus was a teacher. Yes, Jesus was a preacher, preaching the word of God to the people, so the world may be redeemed.
Our teacher everywhere, our teacher all the time, at any given time. Our teacher is many things, giving all the love, guidance here and there. Our teacher is everywhere, our teacher is many things.
When feeling weary and lonely, when feeling weary, our teacher gives a hug and smile, and life begins again.
Our teacher everywhere, our teacher all the time, at any given time. Our teacher is many things, giving all the love, guidance here and there. Our teacher is everywhere, our teacher is many things.
Children,
Yes, please, teacher.
what would you do if teacher was cross with you?
Oh, I have the basics of me. My teacher taught me 3 golden words. That's to say, I'm sorry, excuse me, and thank you.
That's very good. Children, did you hear that?
Yes!
What did they say? How many golden words?
3 golden words.
Say them again.
I'm sorry, excuse me, and thank you.
That's very good. Now let's clap hands for the teacher. Here we go. Let's clap hands for the teachers. Let's clap hands for the teachers. Let's clap hands for the teachers, for all that they deserve. Let's dance for the teachers.
Our teacher everywhere, our teacher all the time, at any given time. Our teacher is many things, giving all the love, guidance here and there. Our teacher is everywhere, our teacher is many things.
Children,
Yes, please, teacher.
tell me what you like to be in future.
I want to be a pilot. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher.
You want to be a teacher? Tell me why you want to be a teacher.
Because a teacher is many things. A teacher makes a doctor, a lawyer, a pilot, and all other professions.
Yay! Our teacher everywhere, our teacher all the time, at any given time. Our teacher is many things, giving all the love, guidance here and there. Our teacher is everywhere, our teacher is many things.
Welcome back from that break. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. That beautiful song, courtesy of a teacher, that is from City Parent School. Anyhow, a teacher is everything a teacher is everything, like Donata, Fausta, and Bob. And getting back to Fausta, when you're dealing with the youth and the children, you require a lot of patience. Where do you get this patience? Personally, I'm not, because I'll beat up a child. Child will make noise and I'll just slap. And so I'll get to Donata later. Where do you get this patience? Are you trained to be patient? Are you naturally patient, or it is something that is within you?
Really, I thought that I'm not patient, but then you're working with kindness. Then you love these children, so it become very naturally to communicate with them. You find the way how, and you see that it's so naturally that you not need strong efforts.
Okay.
That we have to manage them.
Okay, Fausta, if you're in a class of children and maybe you tell them to sit down and one of them says no and keeps up, and maybe another one gets out of class, how do you manage to tell that child that, please, I told you to sit down, can you please sit down?
Maybe can be the way to interest him to that, it can be interesting for you. You can know something and to tell for your parents, and then he looking.
Then?
There are many situations. Yes, there are that can be that today this child not want to be in the group and he want to paint or maybe to play. Okay, he can, because to put in the fans, it's. I think it can be the damage for the future, because he can be. Okay, I can't. This is not allowed, and this go.
So you don't want to create fear in them.
Yes. I think it's a very important thing.
Thank you so much, Faust. And before I get back to you, now to Donata. Donata, you've worked with refugees and yes, with children who are hostile and whatever, like we earlier discussed. Where do you get this patience? Because first of all, when you tell me your experience, first of all, the working conditions themselves, they're not favorable. You have to manage the little that is there. Why do you get this patience? Because I know you have to eat the same food with them. You have to make them feel that what you're doing, because they copy from you. But where do you get this patience?
Maybe when you come in the morning to the school and you see that kids so happy, they come, they run to you. They are like your little friends. So then, and then you start your day, you play some games, you go to the class. It's, and it's enjoyable.
Okay, what are some of the games that, through your experience, you feel the children enjoy?
The games? Well, what I noticed in my experience with Palestinians, they really like the games with the ball. So we usually, before doing something serious, we go and play basketball So sometimes I'm also a coach for basketball.
Okay.
I train them, we play, and then we do serious stuff.
Okay. Thank you so much. And back to you, Bob. Bob, I know you have children who are really, really big-headed in Uganda. How do you manage? Where do you get the patience to handle these children? Because I know you handle children of different age groups. How do you manage?
As we have mentioned, Uganda being in a geographical area of African countries, you know how Africans behave, you know them very well. First of all, to work with people of such a kind, you have to make sure that you have the passion of being close to them. You have the passion of seeing them at a certain level. You have the passion of working with the vulnerable people. Without putting that one into your mind, you will end up also dropping the tools and leave. Because you will think the person I'm dedicating all my time to him or to her is not responding what I'm saying. Now, if I'm using my own effort to let him go to a different recreative maybe place or position now is diverting it, you will end up throwing everything down. But without the person, without that passion of saying no, but look, I have to have him at this stage. So it is through that person, it is through that kindness which Wafauta has already mentioned, without understanding them, as Donata has said, you can't go far with them. So those are the tools that we use. Then there is this bigger tool called counseling. Counseling, we counsel them. These people attached to counselors. We have counselors at Uysto. Before involving them in such activities, people think that these skills are for people who are not academically sharp, so they think they are being dropped there, and therefore to bring them into close to understand that it is another way of putting their countries at the development level. You have to brief them, you have to counsel them, you have to show them that where you have been, it has not been the right place, but this is the right place if you want to be someone. So with that counseling, we have also managed to see that these people are at a certain level of development.
Thank you so much, Bob. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda, the Child Time program with me, Anne Kajumba. We are looking at different issues that hinder our children or are stumbling blocks to our children, and how best we can manage our children. I have Fausta, Donata, and Bob. Back to you, Fausta. Yes, we come from different countries. I come from Uganda. You come from
Lithuania.
Yeah. So, and how do you discipline your children? Because at some point, yes, a child needs to be disciplined. Unlike in Uganda, where recently the government decided you don't spank the children, you don't beat up the children. How do people discipline your children?
There are different ways, and people use them. In my group of children, for someone I said that, okay, you are so active, you're so aggressive, now you have to sit a little bit, to calm, and 5 minutes, and it can be the challenge for him. Yes, really challenge, because he's so active.
So you look for something that will humble them down.
Yeah.
If somebody is using to running around, so you tell them, for
Okay.
today, please sit down.
Yes.
Okay.
And they know that there is the chair where they sitting, then they are not noisy. So you have to have rules. Yes, it's very important that there are rules and they know them. And then they know them, so it's easy to manage. Okay, Yes. If you not hear me, so you have to sit. So it's very important that they know the rules, and they can to remind for others. Oh, the rule is that.
Okay, thank you so much. And Donata, how do you manage to discipline these children? Because they need to be disciplined at some point.
Yeah. So I think that the kid should know that if he acts wrongly, then maybe all the group don't get something really what they want to do. Maybe they will not play the game or something. Then the other kids, they also maybe shows to this kid that, okay, why do this? Because of you, maybe we cannot play the game. So it's maybe important that this group feeling that, if you do wrong, then we don't get this game to play. Or
Thank you so much, Bob. The Ugandan government, they don't like beating up children. You end up at police station. How do you manage to discipline our children?
Actually, it's not of recent. It's far back, like a decade, when Uganda passed a law of not beating or of not using corporal punishments to children. It has been on, and I think they are now emphasizing it. As you know, Ugandan or African children, I will always refer myself in that area. They are different from European or from these American countries, whereby you will find that for them they have humble ways of punishing children. But for our case in Africa, especially in Uganda, we have also adopted it, whereby we don't need to beat. we know we don't need to deny them food. Or originally here, people would punish without giving food. People would punish with the sticks. Someone caning a kid for almost 2 hours. The kid is full of bruises. It changes from punishing, it changes from disciplining to even doing something different. In Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization, for us, you have said already that we work with different groups of people. We begin from 10 years up to 28. Most of the people, we also use counseling, as I already mentioned, counseling as a tool. Of course, you will not going to deny them from doing bad. They will commit sins in the groups. They will fight with their friends because they are people of different thinking, different ideas. So what we do, we just take them through counseling. We give them rules, as Fausta has said. Rules that are always displayed, especially in workshops. They have, before being admitted at our youth center, they are given documents showing them what they should do and what they should not do. They have do's and don'ts at the youth center, and that information, as Fauta has said, that the other friends also keep reminding their friends that, you know, the rule says like this.
If you do that,
through that, we end up taming them, such that we can have them in the right position.
Thank you so much, Bob. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. Let's go for a short break. When we return, we'll be talking about relationships. I know, children, and the revolution of this world and things that are happening. Fausta, Donata, and Bob will be telling us about relationships in the communities they work for. Good afternoon.
He was lost in the state we are.
Welcome back from that break. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. It's a very beautiful afternoon, and I have my wonderful guests, that is Donata, Fausta, and Bob. And I'll begin with Fausta still. Fausta, you've dealt with children and the youth at the same time. Yes, people grow. People have relationships, they have friends, there are people they like and they don't like. But I want you to comment about the relationships of your children. There are some who maybe don't like others really love so much, others hate so much. Let's begin with the relationship with children, then we'll end up with the one for the youth.
Yes, as you say that someone loves, someone didn't like, and they make some I don't know how to say, some limits from the.
They have attitude towards
Yes.
others. Mm.
Yes, but I think that adults have to noticing this process and to see if it going badly. So then you can say something. You can sit them and to talk about what is going on. But I think that it's important thing that it can be naturally. And yes, they can't be everyone friends each other. They can't be in the group 15 different people. They can't be friends. So I think these relationships they're naturally processed.
Okay, so when it gets to the youth, as you term them, as you teach them the skills, when time comes, especially those who want to move on and get married, how do you manage? How do you prepare them for their future? Because they cannot stay in your hands for a long time. Yes, you train them, you give them what you can, but they have to live a life thereafter. How do you manage that?
Yes, everyone have different priorities, and how we heard here, students, yes, there are who wants to start to create family. There are who want to travel, or maybe get a job and working hard. So I think that this relationship is not the problem, and I think that the main thing that they have priorities and go by these priorities, and if they want to reach their aim, and their aim it's family, okay, so it's good. Because here I have a challenge that these differences between culture, because in our country people make great family in older age, and I am 25 and I am not married, and I think about marriage maybe after 5 years. So I think that there's many people in our country, and here is differently. And when I have to talk about motivation, I said that okay, I talk you about myself, but I don't know if it's useful for you. But some things maybe you can use. So there are differently to understand what is the important thing, and yes, the main thing that you have priorities. And it can be career, it can be family, it can be, I don't know, money or something else. So.
Okay, thank you so much, Fausta. And Donata, yes, I know you've dealt with many children and the youth too. How do you manage to prepare them for relationships that come on? Because it all begins when they're still with you. Because you know this one will hate, this one will love, this one will have a greater family. At times you really identify that something is good in somebody. How do you prepare them? Because after giving them the skills and taking them at a certain step, you don't just leave them like that. You need to prepare them for their future. How do you go about it?
So what I think is that it's very important to teach them that they have to respect every person, and that everybody is equal. And it doesn't matter you come from rich family, from poor family, you live in big house or small house, but everyone should be respected the same, and this shouldn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. And what about those ones who would love to get married in the middle of the course, maybe?
Well, in my country, it's very rare that it could happen. But, you know, it's hard to say because every country has its own culture. And let's say in Arab country, maybe in Jordan, in some communities, it's really acceptable if you get married at 16 or 17.
Okay.
So when I met the girl that was getting married at 17, of course I was surprised and it was very strange for me. But I saw that, okay, she's happy, she wants this is her priority, she wants family.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's different, but I mean everyone choose.
Okay, thank you
Just
so
they have
much.
to know what opportunities they have and what they can choose from what.
Oh, okay, thank you so much, Donata. Bob, how do you handle Ugandan girls and boys? Because you're in a community of these young boys and girls, and of course they have a future to live. They're looking at their future. They need the money. They need the employment. They need something in their pockets, and of course girls would love to become mothers, get married and be happy. How do you handle and how do you prepare your children?
Maybe what I can first deal with is the young people who are maybe below 18. Actually, you can categorize them in city groups who are below 18 and who are below 10 years and those above 18. In Uganda, you know it very well that someone to get engaged in marriage or in a sexual relationship should be above 18. But you will find that at an age of maybe 15 or 14, someone is married. It is against the law in Uganda. And them having a choice for themselves, I may not say that that person or the youth does the final decision for herself or himself, in spite of having been guided by them being with the right of having their own priority of the particular person they need. In Africa, there is a saying that before getting married, you have to ask. If you want to get married to Donata's family, you have to get information about Donata's family, not from the Donata family, but from someone who at least knows Donata's family. So, us being the people spending much of the time with these youth, as I have said, we have people that they have to talk to. We have mentors, they always encouraged, and everything is made free and is made possible and easy for them to approach any youth worker at the center to share their issues. Yes, someone might be having that salary decision which has already been made, but for us our role is to come in and try to guide them, to tell them, you know, this person is like this and you are like this. Do you think you're going to cope up? When someone says yes, then that is yes, and if says no, then we have to see. If you are saying no, is it possible for you that you can forget about someone because you said you are loving him, but now they are saying there is this and this and this? Is it possible that you can forget about that person? If there is any other step that we can take together with the person or together with the youth, we go ahead to it. But what we do, them being adults above 18, our role is to guide.
Okay,
our
thank
role
you
is to counsel.
Thank you so much, Bob.
And then for the youngest, of course, you cannot expect that relationship, which is a bit far in regards to having sex, in regards to visiting people's home and sleep there when they're expecting that person at home. For them, they have genuine love, which is innocent. Our role is to keep them close, to keep them intact, to renew their relationship, their friendship, because at times, because of being young, there are things that tend to run them berserk. So we have to bring them close. We have to say no, forgive. You keep on sharing with your friends. By doing that, we are building them for the good future.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. Let's go for another short music break. When we return, Bob, you'll tell us more about strengthening the Sub-Saharan youth career path. Welcome back from that break. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. And this is the Child Time program with me, Anne Kajumba. Earlier on, I told you that when we return, we'll be looking at strengthening sub-Saharan youth career path. And Bob, tell us more about it.
Thank you. Strengthening sub-Saharan youth career path is a project that has been designed to let the youth in sub-Saharan region access tools that can help them to take their career far. It is a project that is being worked upon by 4 countries. One is Lithuania, based in Northern Europe, from a university called SMK University. It is SMK University of Applied Science. We have partners in Ghana, and the organization is called the SASO, Service Awareness Support Organization. Another partner is Kenya called VAC, Volunteer Action for Change. And then we have Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization. This project wants to strengthen or to spice the career for youth. We have designed this project after finding out that the African countries have youth who are underprivileged or who are not accessed to most of the opportunities. They have issues in social, they have issues socially, they have issues educational, they have issues in securing employment, they have issues in most of the things. So we decided to put this project into place such that we can meet the youth in those countries or in those partner countries where we have located or strategically located the project, to make sure that the youth are made clear and are being helped in using their careers, and those who are also trying to identify careers such that they can understand which direction to go.
Okay, thank you so much. Foster, any comment on that?
I want to comment that this really important thing that then young people get these technical skills to see for them how to start and how to go to their aim. So I think that our aim here is to say to talk about what it's important things to manage their technical skills. That it not can be that, okay, I have technical skills, okay, what I have to do. And if you want to become professional, so you have to have a career plan, you have to do step by step. And these students who are in this organization, they did their first step. They came here, and I think that is very important. And then we have a workshop. I remind them that you did very important and very difficult first step, because to make first step is very difficult.
Okay, so for the activities you've seen in Uganda being done by our own children and youth in Uganda, are they done by your fellow youth that is in Lithuania?
In Lithuania is differently, because our education is free and unpaid, and it's differently, because yes, in this organization where I volunteering, they need these knowledges. Okay. How to start, because you have so many opportunities. Okay, and what I can do, and yes, and you need a plan, you need some knowledges how to manage these opportunities. So yes, I think what we are doing here, it's important in my country.
Thank you so much. Donata, what do you have to comment?
So I totally agree with Fausta, and for me it's really interesting to interact with the Ugandan youth, with the students, and maybe to see what are their purposes of life, what things they want to do, and what they think about the future. And maybe after I compare it with Lithuania, and I also get some knowledge, and I kind of make a research. And yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. Let's go for a break. When we return, we'll be winding up our wonderful program. Good afternoon.
Our Father everlasting, the all-creating one, God Almighty, through your Holy Spirit, conceiving Christ the Son, Jesus our Savior. I believe in God our Father, I believe
Welcome back from that break. UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda, the Child Time program with me, Anne Kajumba, and we are now looking at strengthening sub-Saharan youth career path. And back to you, Bob. When did this begin? How does it work? For how long will it be in place? Yes, there are very many questions, but I want you to summarize them.
Strengthening sub-Saharan youth career path is a project that is being implemented in Uganda and some other partner countries I have already mentioned. We are targeting NGOs and schools and CBOs, all those small organizations which are also working with youth. This organization is supposed to spend 12 months, and we are intending that within the period of 12 months we shall have already reached out to 135 youth, whom we think that they will end up also transferring the same knowledge to their fellow youth, by maybe sharing or by having written something on their Facebook pages, and by seeing that the project has worked as a pilot, and if it comes up as the way we are expecting it, because it is majorly basing on career guidance in education. And if we see that this project has worked well and it has shown positive impacts or positive results, we expect to extend the program. But majorly it is for the whole country Uganda, and for all NGOs and schools and small associations or clubs for the youth.
Thank you so
everyone
much.
Is a beneficiary.
Thank you so much. Recently I saw you collecting pads. Which schools have you given those sanitary pads? How did you get the money? How did you get the sanitary pads? What was your aim? Yes.
As you have already known that Uysto works with youth, we also attach something which is very important, a girl or child. Uysto decided to write projects concerning with providing sanitary pads to a girl or child. We first did the locally made sanitary pads at our center, but according to the feedback we collected from the young people, we found out that they find difficulties in cleaning them. They find difficulties in keeping them. At a certain time, they get they start stinking.
Okay, tell me.
Though they tend to wash them too much and iron.
Bob,
so we
just a full stop right there.
Okay.
You mean somebody cannot wash their pad they've used? Where is the problem? There is no soap, there is no water, people just don't know how to wash. Where is the problem?
The feedback we got from the target group was that however much you wash, they could still keep on stinking. And
I thought they spread them in the sunshine.
And with the soaps, with the process now they had started going in, was a bit again dangerous to them, because they started now employing jig to wash them, and which could not be easy to finish it from the material. So you are saying they cannot dry. Yes, they can dry, but however much they could dry, this is just a feedback. However much they could dry, there could be some issues that they could raise to us. So as people who are concerning with having a girl or child at the uppermost part of succeeding in the country, we had to devise other means, because that was the feedback, and the feedback says help us to change or to do something in the program which is being run. So for us, what we decided, we said we can't continue doing this with this feedback. We have to devise other means. So what we did, we wrote projects on crowdfunding. We visited an organization called Global Giving. We posted our project there. The project was concerning providing disposable sanitary pads to these kids, and the good thing, the project was approved. So people, different donors, people at an individual level started contributing money to us. We collected their money, and then we started buying sanitary pads. And I'm very happy that Donata and Fausta did a great job in distributing these pads to the target group. And
I didn't get
the sanitary pads were given to Namungo Nachugube Primary School. That was the school that we had cited, and that's where the project was written to.
Okay, I'd said complaining that I hadn't gotten. Okay, thank you so much, Fausta. Your last word to the listener.
I want to say that I'm very happy to be here, because I had a dream to be a volunteer in Africa, So this dream came true, and I'm really happy that I am a part of these projects, and I can help a little bit, but be here and to know about this culture, about these people. So important thing what I knew here, that Africa is not nature, not heat, not but they are, Africa is people. So it's my foundation here.
Thank you so much. And Donata, your last word to the listener.
So I'm really happy that I joined this Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization, because while being here, I can really see what is happening in the communities, what they need, what projects do they have, what are the most important things, where they need help, and yeah, I can see a lot.
Okay, thank you so much. Donata and Bob, your last word to the listeners as we wind up.
Thank you. I would wish to thank UBC for being with us here and created a platform to air out these views of Uysto. I thank Fausta and Donata for having sent us experts of youth workers from Lithuania to work alongside Uysto in seeing this project successful. Dear listeners, Strengthening Sub-Saharan Youth Career Path is a project in Uysto where everyone should be a beneficiary. So you are welcome. You can contact us all the time. We have our details if you want to visit our website. Our website can easily be allocated. Just type Uganda Youth Skills Training Organization. You will see it coming. You can reach us on our Facebook pages. The names are the same. You can always invite us. We do projects. We train younger people on how to begin initiatives or projects. We also let the youth understand that the values for taking a step to have an initiative or taking a step to look for the counselor or to look for the mentor is a good tool for seeing yourself somewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bob. Yes, and to our listener, that's all we had to share with you this beautiful afternoon. Until next time, with yet another edition of the Child Time program. Anne Kajumba, UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.